the cameras flash, the crowd froze, and just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession. Welcome to Starscope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
Yeah, it's always a wild ride, and today is definitely no exception.
We are going on a serious deep dive today, and I want you, the listener, to put yourself right in the middle of this one. We're pulling from a massive stack of sources. I've been going through these really in-depth reports from Variety, The Guardian, cultural breakdowns from The Ringer, and even Olivia Wilde's own, raw admissions on the Call Her Daddy podcast.
Right, there's just so much material to cover with this one.
There really is our mission. To unpack the explosive, unprecedented moment, Olivia Wilde was served custody papers live on a Las Vegas stage. We're going to explore Tom Cruise's shocking reaction to the event, pull back the curtain on the shadowy, covert world of Hollywood process servers, and figure out how the single manila envelope triggered the absolute most chaotic movie press tour in modern history.
The fallout was just incredible. I mean, the illusion of the tightly controlled Hollywood press machine was essentially shattered in like a matter of seconds.
Exactly. So let's start with the headline event. Wilde was served legal papers in front of 3,000 industry executives.
3,000. That is just wow.
Right. 3,000 people watching a deeply private moment unfold under stadium lighting. And it actually took a Hollywood heavyweight like Tom Cruise to finally break the silence about how truly bizarre the whole situation was. But to really feel the impact of this, you have to visualize the room.
That is vital context, yeah. Because this wasn't a public street or a red carpet where fans are screaming behind a barricade. This was April 2022 at CinemaCon. Imagine you are sitting inside the massive Coliseum at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. This is an industry-only, highly sanitized corporate summit where studios basically pitch their upcoming blockbusters to theater owners.
And the security hurdles just to get into this specific room were extreme. This was still a period with pretty stringent health protocols.
Oh yeah, the COVID checks.
Yeah, if you wanted to be in that audience, you needed multi-tiered credentialed badges. You had to submit advanced COVID tests days prior, wait for clearance, and wear specific color-coded wristbands just to get past the velvet ropes. You do not just wander off the Vegas casino floor, walk past the slot machines, and, end up in the front row of a major Warner Brothers presentation.
Which sets the stage for the incident perfectly.
Yeah.
So Wilde is up there presenting her highly anticipated directorial follow-up to Booksmart.
Don't worry, darling.
Exactly. The film is Don't Worry, Darling.
Right.
And it is a massive swing for her career. She is mid-pitch, holding the microphone, projecting total confidence to a room of people whose entire job is to judge her film's commercial viability.
Which is stressful enough.
Totally. And suddenly, this unidentified person slides a manila envelope marked personal and confidential across the stage footlights, right toward her.
Okay, let's unpack this, because my mind immediately goes to the sheer logistics of that moment. Think about what we just described with the security. This wasn't like a lucky opportunity.
No, not at all.
This feels like a meticulously planned bank heist. Consider the staggering forethought required to bypass layers of corporate security. Someone had to acquire a credentialed badge, take the COVID tests, navigate the wristband checkpoints, and find a seat close enough to the stage all just to deliver a piece of paper to a woman while she is working.
Yeah, it's wild.
It requires like an Ocean's 11 level of blueprinting just to execute a legal chore.
The execution was completely flawless. But what is even more staggering is Wilde's composure in that exact second. She picks up the envelope, she opens it right there on stage. She looks at the contents, which we later learn are custody documents regarding her children with Jason Sudeikis. And she barely breaks her poker face. She just slides the papers back in and simply finishes her speech.
Unbelievable.
Right. She seamlessly pivots back to pitching her movie. But the emotional toll was devastating. When you read her interview from the Call Her Daddy deep dive, she admits that the second she got backstage and out of the spotlight, she completely dissolved into a puddle.
If you've ever tried to keep a brave face during a presentation at work while your personal life is falling apart, you know exactly what she was feeling.
Oh, absolutely.
You hold it together for the crowd, and then you just collapse. She actually tried to convince herself in that moment that no one in the audience had noticed. There was a strict no-phones policy at CinemaCon, so she thought maybe she was safe.
But the reality of the modern era is that the no-phones policy is a complete myth.
Yeah, there's always a camera.
Always. A video of the exchange leaked to Page 6 almost instantly. So she went from thinking she had contained this intensely private, traumatic moment to realizing it was global news. It was the lead story on every single entertainment site.
Which had to be terrifying.
It was. She was totally isolated in that experience until months later when she got validation from a pretty unexpected source.
Yes. So Olivia Wilde is at an event, and she bumps into Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, a guy who knows more than anyone on the planet about intense public scrutiny, paparazzi madness, and disastrous press cycles.
He really does.
He walks right up to her, looks her in the eye, and bluntly states, "Hi, I'm Tom. It's freaked up what happened to you in Vegas."
Wow. Having someone of that magnitude acknowledge the sheer absurdity of the situation meant a lot to her. But the core of the issue goes back to what Wilde herself told Variety. She pointed out, quote, "In any other workplace, it would be seen as an attack."
She is so right about that.
She is. If you were giving a quarterly presentation in a corporate boardroom and someone bypassed your building's security to slide family court papers across the conference table, human resources and security would lock the building down. The police might be called.
It is a really heavy reminder that behind the glitz of a Vegas stage, there is a real family dealing with a painful restructuring. She chose the spotlight, but her kids, Otis and Daisy, they didn't. They were the true victims of this public spectacle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And hey, if you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead, because wait until you hear the extreme real-life lengths process servers go to just to catch stars off guard.
That is the perfect thread to pull, actually. Because how did that envelope actually bypass all that Las Vegas security? To understand the Vegas ambush, we have to look at the covert mechanics of the legal system operating right in the shadows of Hollywood.
Right.
Serving papers to a celebrity isn't like the movies. It involves aggressive stakeouts, buying expensive event tickets, and completely ignoring the famous line, "You've been served."
Let's look at the background for a second. When the backlash hit the internet, Jason Sudeikis' representatives immediately released a statement. They claimed he had absolutely no prior knowledge of the time or place the envelope would be delivered.
Right, they distanced him from it completely.
They placed the blame entirely on the process service company. So if Sudeikis didn't order the hit, how does a civilian pull off this infiltration?
To figure that out, we looked at insights from Ken Hastings. He's a veteran process server who was interviewed by The Guardian. And the picture he paints is way more private investigator than pizza delivery guy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they don't wear silly disguises with fake mustaches or anything. Instead, they conduct skip traces.
Okay, let's break that down for the listener. What exactly is a skip trace?
So a skip trace is essentially using specialized databases to track a person's digital and financial footprints. You are looking for recent credit card swipes, utility bill registrations, or property records to figure out exactly where a target is physically located at any given moment.
Wow, that is intense.
It is. And they combine that data with physical surveillance. They will literally sit in their car in a parking garage for 12 hours just to get eye level with a target's condo window. They just wait for the perfect strike.
And Wilde's situation, as shocking as it was, is not unique in the celebrity world. Process servers have targeted stars in the most vulnerable or public moments imaginable.
Oh, definitely not unique.
Like, Dr. Dre was served divorce papers while standing at his grandmother's funeral. Tyga was served at a sneaker release party. The singer Ciara was handed legal documents mid-performance on stage.
It's just wild.
I have to push back here, though, or at least ask the question that I know our listeners are screaming at their devices right now.
Okay, let's hear it.
I have a really hard time accepting that this is just standard legal procedure. Crashing a funeral. Serving someone next to a casket. You can't tell me a judge looks at that and says, yep, that's just the justice system at work. Isn't there a point where the law steps in and says, this crosses the line from due process into outright harassment?
What's fascinating here is the cold, hard legal reality, particularly in states like California. The law doesn't care about your feelings, the sanctity of a funeral, or your PR optics. It cares about physical proximity.
Wait, really? Nothing else matters?
Nothing. A process server doesn't even have to get you to take the papers in your hand. They can literally drop them at your feet on the street, say your name, and legally you have been served.
So there are no boundaries at all. They can just hunt you down anywhere.
Pretty much. The cruelty of these public ambushes is actually a direct byproduct of the legal requirement to physically reach a well-protected person. I mean, think about it. Celebrities live behind massive gates, they travel with bodyguards, and their schedules are shielded by layers of assistants.
Right, they're basically in a fortress.
Exactly. A process server can't just knock on the front door of a Hollywood Hills mansion. Sometimes a public stage or a ticketed event is the literal only place a server can guarantee the target will be at a specific unprotected time.
That is a bizarre paradox. The very security apparatus designed to protect the celebrity forces the process server to execute these highly public, dramatic ambushes. You build a fortress, so they are forced to attack you the moment you step out onto the balcony.
That is exactly it. The process server at CinemaCon bought a ticket, got the COVID test, wore the wristband, and walked up to the stage. Because that was the one moment Olivia Wilde wasn't surrounded by her personal security detail. It's ruthless, but legally, it's efficient.
It is ruthless, and honestly, it was just the beginning of the nightmare. Later in the deep dive, we'll talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming, how this single envelope opened the floodgates for the most disastrous press tour of the decade.
Yet the CinemaCon breach wasn't just an isolated legal ambush. It was the catalyst. Once the public and the media saw that Wilde's tightly controlled narrative could be breached, the entire promotional scaffolding of Don't Worry, Darling suffered a catastrophic, system-wide meltdown.
A film about 1950s trophy wives completely lost control of its own narrative, culminating in Spitgate and a defiant Aperol spritz.
The stakes were incredibly high for this, too. Wilde had 18 different studios fighting for the rights to this film.
18! That's insane.
Right, and she went with Warner Brothers, specifically because they promised a massive theatrical release. It was her leap into the big leagues. The PR machine was supposed to be flawless.
But the tension was already boiling behind the scenes. And then the internet got its hands on the Miss Flo video. This is a crucial piece of the puzzle.
Oh man, the Miss Flo video.
Wilde had previously claimed in interviews that she fired Shia LaBeouf from the movie to protect her cast, specifically Florence Pugh from his, quote, combative energy. It was a great narrative about a director protecting her set.
It sounded really good on paper.
But then LaBeouf releases a leaked selfie video that Wilde had sent him. She's driving her car, using the front-facing camera, begging him to stay on the project.
And as The Ringer noted in their analysis, the front-facing camera tells no lies. It strips away all the Hollywood gloss. In the video, she condescendingly refers to her lead actress as Miss Flo, saying this might be a wake-up call for her.
That video completely shattered Wilde's narrative. It validated all the rumors of toxic tension on set between the director and her star. And the audience ate it up because it felt like peeking behind the curtain of a heavily manufactured PR campaign.
They absolutely devoured it.
That tension then boiled over in the most spectacular, visually absurd way at the Venice Film Festival.
Yeah, the Venice Film Festival is supposed to be the pinnacle of cinematic prestige. You go there to celebrate art. Instead, it became a battleground of passive aggression.
Here's where it gets really interesting. You have Florence Pugh, the star of the movie, completely skipping the official press conference.
Skipping her own press conference. Unheard of.
The studio cites scheduling conflicts with her shooting schedule for Dune, Part 2. But while the press conference is happening, while Wilde is sitting at a table dodging awkward questions, Pugh is literally parading around the canals of Venice in a stunning purple Valentino outfit.
Looking incredible, by the way.
Looking flawless. She is casually sipping an Aperol spritz, walking with her grandmother, Granny Pat. Her stylist then posts a photo of her on Instagram with the caption, Miss Flo.
It was a masterclass in weaponized leisure. Pugh didn't have to say a single word to the press. By simply being photographed, looking unbothered with a cocktail, she controlled the entire news cycle. It was incredible PR judo.
But the chaos didn't stop there. The premiere itself became an internet phenomenon. You had Harry Styles, who was dating Wilde at the time, enthusiastically kissing his co-star Nick Kroll on the lips on the red carpet.
Yeah, that was definitely unexpected.
And then you had the moment that literally broke the internet, Spitgate.
Spitgate. I mean, it sounds ridiculous saying it out loud, but the entire world paused to analyze a 3-second video clip. People were treating it like the Zapruder film of pop culture.
Put yourself in the shoes of someone scrolling Twitter that night. You see a clip of Harry Styles walking to his seat next to Chris Pine. Styles makes a very slight motion with his mouth.
Just a tiny movement.
Chris Pine looks down at his lap, stops clapping, and kind of chuckles in disbelief. The internet immediately decided, with absolute certainty, that Harry Styles had expectorated spit directly onto Chris Pine's lap.
Which, of course, wasn't true. Pine's representatives vehemently denied it. Alternate angles showed Pine was just looking for his sunglasses, which he had dropped between his legs, and he had momentarily dissociated, just zoned out, which he'd been doing throughout the entire exhausting press tour.
The poor guy was just tired.
Exactly. But the truth didn't matter anymore. The psychology of the audience had shifted. People wanted the drama to be real. As The Ringer pointed out, the film had become a total triumph of entropy.
It is the ultimate example of the internet losing its collective mind over the noise. That's what Wilde called it during the press conference. She said the internet feeds itself, and she was right.
She really was.
Nobody was talking about the cinematography, the set design, or the plot of Don't Worry, Darling. They were talking about custody papers in manila envelopes, leaked front-facing camera videos, Aperol spritzes, and phantom saliva. It was a complete hijacking of a multi-million-dollar marketing campaign by pure, unfiltered internet chaos.
Yeah, and if we connect this back to the bigger picture, it is incredibly easy to get swept up in the memes and the gossip. We all laughed at Spitgate.
We did.
But there's a profound human element here that gets glossed over when we treat real life like a reality show. After the dust settled on Venice and the film was released, Wilde essentially retreated from the spotlight. She spoke candidly about needing to seek a, quote, Shahana therapy to rebuild herself after the trauma of that year.
Which is completely understandable. The level of public humiliation and stress she endured starting from that moment on the Vegas stage is staggering.
The good news is that the intense legal battles did eventually resolve away from the cameras. She and Sudeikis finalized their custody arrangement in 2023. It included a $27,500 a month child support settlement, and more importantly, they are now successfully co-parenting.
Well, that's really good to hear.
Yeah, Wilde herself noted that the kids are consistently getting the best of them now, in a way that wasn't possible when they were together. While the internet feasted on the drama, a real family had to do the hard work of healing in private.
That is such an important point, and it's a reminder for all of us listening. Think about why a story like this grips you so tightly. You are watching real-time personal trauma, a painful custody battle, the breakdown of professional relationships, the immense pressure of public failure, and it is instantly repackaged for us as pop culture entertainment.
Exactly. We consume it while drinking our morning coffee, but these are actual lives being turned upside down.
It raises an important question about our own complicity in the spectacle.
Yeah, we laugh at the memes, we share the leaked videos on our group chats, but we rarely pause to consider the psychological toll on the people standing at the center of the storm.
Which leaves you with something to really mull over. In an era where process servers use red carpets and literal convention stages to deliver legal blows, and where the internet dissects every microexpression, every dropped pair of sunglasses for drama, is the concept of a celebrity having a backstage completely dead. And more uncomfortably, when you eagerly consume leaked videos and private court papers as your daily gossip, are we, the audience, actually acting as the ultimate process servers? You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.